Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Del Prince, and today we're learning about floral design mechanics for altar arrangements and buffet designs using fresh floral foam. I want to talk to you about using larger containers because it's not always necessary to fill a container with fresh flower foam or chicken wire in a liner. It's possible to use other types of floral foam configurations, and here are just a few. The first approach uses a wreath ring base. This is fresh flower foam that has been hydrated using the free float method. All I have to do is place it on top of the urn and I'm ready to make my floral design. Now, a lot of times some floral designers that are new might say, how can I use something that has a hole in the center of it? But remember, with floral design, there are many different ways to design a floral arrangement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add placements to this design so that they are vertical towards the center and cascading off of the edge. That enables me to lift this design even higher on a buffet or an altar, and I don't necessarily fill the center with it. In this way, I can place decorative lighting inside of the container, and I have a nice floral design that could be delivered in two pieces to a church or to a reception site. Another way of filling this container in a unique way is to use a liner. Now, instead of using many bricks of floral foam, I can use just an ordinary plate. This is a plate that is sold at wholesale florists, and it is a nice heavy styrene plastic. If I place it down in the container, it's well hidden within the design, and my binding point for my floral arrangement is now lower. Hence, not a lot of cascading placements unless the placements themselves are arcing, but it's still beautiful to use an upright line such as gladiolus or willow stems, many other different types of line materials to help to build that design. Another look would be to use a plate on top of the container, and this is just an ordinary inexpensive plastic charger which would hold some fresh floral materials or fresh flower foam. With this design, I would then tape it into place, and then I could have cascading placements. Either one of those works just fine. Another approach is to use a plate that's even larger than the container. And with something like this, if it is in black or clear or even green, floral placements can hang over the edge and hide the fresh floral foam, which is the non-decorative mechanic. Using a plate such as this, many floral designers would use 2 bricks, 4 bricks, or even 6 bricks of foam, perhaps covered with chicken wire to make it even more resilient, and then designing away. Instead of using the 2 standard bricks, I'm going to place one of the larger bricks of foam into the container. This is the equivalent of 2 bricks, but there are blocks of foam on the market that are much larger than this, with 4 or even 6 bricks size all in one. The first step of making this mechanic is to bevel the sides of the foam. So I'm going to take and remove the 4 corners to give it a rounded effect. And then I can also remove about half to a full inch of the foam. This just helps to make sure that the mechanic is covered nicely with flowers and with foliage. Following this, I'm going to take the 1/2 inch waterproof tape and I'm going to create a grid work around the entire plate like this to make sure that that foam is going to stay in place. So doing this mechanic, a lot of times when you're designing flowers for wedding and events, it's up to you by yourself to get the entire design completed without assistance. So as you can see, it's quite possible to make this design on your own. All I have to do now at this point in time is to create the design, whether it is a 3-sided floral arrangement that faces an audience or a congregation, or an all-around design that sits in the middle of a beautiful buffet. We've learned in this segment how to use fresh floral foam and anchor it in place so that it's easy for small flower shops and florists working by themselves to wrangle large floral designs for beautiful, commanding displays.